Real Madrid, maybe just in terms of that bit of quality, guys, get that little bit of quality around the penalty box, just the difference on the night.
Yeah, and I think also, especially in the first half, in the second they were a bit better in the terms of playing or trying to play in Real Madrid half. Of course, you have to be careful because they had a lot of pace up front. But when they shown in the beginning of the second half that they were playing higher up, they were putting those crosses, getting more balls, a bit more quality into that area. It looked the Osasuna that we've seen throughout the season, rather than just Real Madrid dominating comfortably like they did.
I mean, I wouldn't have thought they'd have, other than the scoreline, many regrets. Osasuna, they threw the kitchen sink.
Yeah, they can hold their head up high, definitely. I thought the second half they were the better side as well. Madrid probably deserved to be at least one up at half-time, but they came back into it and they gave them a real fright, I think. It probably suited Madrid to just try to sit back and try to manage it. But then when they hit that goal and, I mean, pulled a rabbit out of the hat there with that strike, then all of a sudden they're like, oh, no, we need to wake up again. But Osasuna were very, very good. And as you say, they're probably as proud as the Real Madrid fans, even though Madrid have won the trophy.
Yeah, and maybe no surprise that just like the first goal in the first couple of minutes, it's Vinicius who, with that little trickery near the dead ball line, creates the moment. There's a bit of luck, but still.
Yeah, it does change your mood, it does change your plan, it does change your mentality, because we see a lot of numbers there, but we see like 4 players before the near post. So that's already obviously meaning somewhere at the back there's players missing.
Yeah.
And that it changes your attitude and your game plan. So you start thinking like, okay, let's try not to concede, try to take it as long as possible, and then 2 minutes you get a goal.
Yeah, and he does keep it in. We've established that. And I think it's Garcia who makes the slightly rushed and
both,
bad clearance, Michael, and then he tries to make up for it. It's his block that makes it fall for Rodrigo.
Yeah, and he's very unlucky with the block. I mean, it could go anywhere, couldn't it? I suppose you could say it could deflect and go in, but it was a decent block, made amends for almost his mistake. But again, Vinicius Junior down that left-hand side, it was a similar goal in many ways. He just causes so much problem. I mean, Glenn mentioned it in commentary as well, that he does nothing when it comes to defending. Yeah. Absolutely nothing. So he saves all his energy for when he goes on those attacks, but he's lethal when he gets in those positions.
Yeah. It looked, we were all hearts in mouths that last couple of minutes. I think it's Kike Barca who thinks he's about to score the equaliser. Yeah. Should he go with his right foot here? Me and guys were saying, why doesn't he go with it? I know he's a left footer, but...
Yeah, well, you need to take it at your earliest point, don't you? Yeah. So whatever's earliest, and you'd say right foot, I mean, because it comes across fast, you might need to change your pattern, your stride pattern. But normally, yes, textbook would say take it as early as you can, keep the defender away from it and take it early. So, yeah, right-footed finish probably.
But brilliant from Carvajal, wasn't it?
Yeah, he did a very good game. I mean, I would have thought like Osasuna would try to attack a lot on that side. Yeah. With up there, we didn't see many 1v1, not even con Kike Barca. But I think he had a decent game today, Carvajal.
Yeah. I mean, they're just good at winning, aren't they, Real? They toy with you, they play in patches.
They win finals, they don't play them, they win them.
Yeah, it's just kind of enough.
Yeah, and you do have you can never prove it because you'll never know, will you? But you just have that sense that they've got another gear all the time. Yeah. There is another big game coming up. They really didn't want to go to extra time tonight. So as much as Osasuna had played great and, they can be proud of themselves, you just felt that if they wanted to go and get a goal, then maybe they could have.
Yeah, I can imagine Pep Guardiola and the City players sat at home tonight going, get an equaliser, get extra half an hour.
Extra time, good.
Yeah.
Get more minutes in the legs. But I think, like we were talking about what we were watching the game, like you see some actions, like when there's a challenge or a divided ball, Madrid players go and get it or kicks you. And sometimes Osasuna seemed like they wanted to get the ball clean. Yeah. No, you just got to get the ball, you have to get things done. And that's what Madrid, I think, had that little advantage today as well.
We saw the flashes from Vinicius. We didn't see a lot of Benzema tonight. He was kind of within himself. And Rodrigo, we talked about in pre-match, he's kind of growing into the prominent role. He didn't do a huge amount, scores the 2 goals, gets man of the match. I mean,
absolutely.
You know how that works.
Thanks, mate. All the danger came from the left, but obviously the finishing touch came from the right. As you say, central player Benzema was relatively quiet today, but we can forgive him a night off, can't we?
Of course we can.
He's saved Madrid plenty of times. But look how proud those away fans, or I say away fans, that the Osasuna fans of their team. I mean, second time they got to a major cup final, and they did play very well. They gave Madrid a fright.
For sure.
They'll be relieved to get through with the trophy.
They will. You saw the tears from Arrasate there. He will be proud, but it'd be very frustrating because they weren't that far away.
Yeah, for as much as you get there and you say, you have to play, it's difficult, it's Real Madrid, you have hope. Like, there's a chance, of course, that's what you play and that's what you believe. But when it comes to the realization of you've lost a final opportunity like that, and all the tension, emotions that it comes with it, I'm sure a lot of tears will come not only from Jago, but also from the players, the fans, because they understand how huge it is for them and how close they were to something like that. I think we've been saying it.
Yeah.
They have to hold the head up. They play great season, great final. They put a fight. They put a really big game. And most importantly, it was Osasuna, like the team we saw, because sometimes in these games you kind of get nervous, you get overexcited, and you don't really play at your maximum potential. And I think Osasuna did it today.
Yeah, absolutely. When they get over the disappointment of no trophy, no winners' medal, hopefully they can be proud of how they played. And I think the fans seem pretty proud of their players. Just seeing those shots there of Vinicius with, I think it was Dani Ceballos, Michael. I suppose you have to accept the kind of the mischievousness, the naughtiness at times with the genius. Is that how it goes?
Maybe, I'm not sure. Some players play on the edge. I don't mind that. You think of some great players, they're playing on the edge, but that's not the edge, that's petulance, a lot of it. So I'm not sure if he knocks that out of this game. Listen, it'll bite him in the backside one day, he'll get another yellow card and he'll have to miss a game or be sent off in a final or something like that. That might teach him, because there's no need for the yellow cards he gets, there's no need for the bragging and the boasting and the showing that we're winning 1-0 in front of an opponent's face and things like that. I don't know, I think you could knock that out of him, to be honest.
Yeah, officials just going up to receive their medals. Just worth pointing out on that, guys, you know better than either of us, at times this season and before, that relationship, if you like, with the fans in Spain has tipped over into abuse for Vinicius, racist abuse at times. So we have to factor that in. But do you take Michael's point that he creates some problems for himself?
I agree with Michael. I mean, we see a lot of players with attitude. You don't mind that because it's part of the game, and some players like to play to that sort of also trying to provoke the opponent team, engage you into the games. But it's true that Vinicius, especially at the beginning of the season, there was a lot of not correct behavior from the fans, and he responded to that. Again, ideally, players who focus on the game. It's very difficult, of course, to stay away with when some comments or abuse come from this sort of personal situation, like racism. And certainly, it's wrong from both sides. But I think Vinicius, we see with Ancelotti, with teammates, we saw a lot of even Madrid, Benzema, talking to him, trying to say, calm down, calm down. Yeah. In the beginning, when he used to respond to these fans that should not be in the stadiums to begin with, but anyway, to try to focus on the football and not on the situations that happens around these situations.
It was a nice moment.
The president.
Yeah, the president and Lele Garcia, who played terrific. He'll, I'm sure, have a sleepless night worrying about how that second goal went in, but shouldn't feel bad. And those fans certainly, whilst I'm sure they are gutted, and he seems to display that, the manager, they gave it their all. OK, let me hand you back to Glenn and Paul for the formalities out in Seville. Dempo?
Thank you very much, Matt. Luis Sabalza, the president of Osasuna, the coach, Jagoba Arrasate, almost overcome how close their team came. They gave it so much tonight, didn't they? Fantastic occasion in this city. We're blessed with so many super stadiums. This one has been the perfect setting for a real top-class game of football. And here comes Karim Benzema now to take custody of the Copa del Rey for Real Madrid. He's up there all by himself. Knows how to do this. Yet another glittering prize taken on behalf of a club who rewrite the record books constantly when it comes to winning. But they've let a few go, let a few of those trophies slip through their fingertips, particularly in the last 30-odd years. So this is sweet indeed for Benzema and for Real Madrid. Only 3 times in the last 30 years before tonight they've actually claimed it. A great day out for their fans. We've lauded the Osasuna fans and their performance, but the Real Madrid fans rather enjoying being back in a cup final. Of course, when you do have 14 European Cups or Champions Leagues, 35 La Liga titles, the Copa del Rey sometimes appears something of an afterthought. Not tonight. They've done it, and done it with a fabulous performance. They needed a fabulous performance. Real Madrid edged it against Osasuna, and with that they claim the Copa del Rey for the 20th time in their history. 2023 is turning out rather well for Carlo Ancelotti and his players. Club World Cup, now the Copa del Rey, and of course in the Final Four yet again in the UEFA Champions League. They won't overdo the celebrations, that's for certain, but they will enjoy it before turning attention to Manchester City. And they might need to put their feet up for a few hours because they really had to put it all in here tonight. And for the first time in a decade, since Carlo Ancelotti's reign first time round, they savour success in Spain's big cup competition. We've got the memories of a wonderful performance. Glenn, I'll just ask you for a final word.
No, I think Real Madrid overall just about shaded it. It was a fabulous effort from Osasuna. I think Carlo Ancelotti and his staff will be delighted that it hasn't gone to extra time, because they've got City, such a big semi-final next week, and that's a big bonus for Real Madrid. But congratulations to them again, lifting another trophy, and bigger things next week.
Glenn, thank you very much indeed. We've had a splendid day in Seville in every possible way, and a game to grace this occasion. Real Madrid lift the trophy at the end of it. Back to you, Matt.
Thank you, Paul. And on a day for kings and coronations, the King's Cup goes to the King's team. Real Madrid for the 20th time. Lift. A pretty big trophy, and he knows how to win, doesn't he? Carlo, all that talk about his future. Brazil knocking. Nice problems to have, I would think. And the captain had to go up and collect the trophy from the King, who's had a tough day. He's been in Westminster Abbey, done a bit of walking. So, to be fair, perhaps it was just as well that the Real Madrid skipper went up and got the trophy. 2 down and a big one to come. Plenty more coming from us, including that game in midweek. Let me point you towards what's on the way. From the Premier League tomorrow, big game at both ends. West Ham trying to escape trouble. Manchester United trying to make sure they stay away from those chasing them for the top 4. That's 6:30 tomorrow evening. And an even bigger game, you might say, for certainly the bottom, if not the top. Brighton and Everton meet on Monday, tea time. That, of course, a bank holiday, 5 p.m. on One and Ultimate. Then the Champions League semis in midweek. On Tuesday to the Bernabeu for Real Madrid against Manchester City, that first leg. All the build-up from 7, and then the Derby della Madonnina the following evening. AC Milan, the notional home side at the San Siro for the first leg of their semi. Again, One and Ultimate for all of that. At the Cartuja, a nice embrace between the two bosses. Arrasate and Osasuna gave it everything, but as they do, Real Madrid found a way to win and lift another cup. Back shortly.